Hello, everyone. Gather round. Let's settle in for a story, but be warned, this isn't your typical bedtime tale. This one has a darker twist, a chilling reminder that sometimes the things we find online aren't always what they seem. We're venturing into the world of Tinder, but not the romantic, hopeful side. This is the unsettling underbelly, the part where swiping right leads to a creeping sense of dread. Tuck yourself in, close your eyes, and relax. I moved to the USA about a year and a half ago for my job as a software engineer. Life here was pretty routine. Wake up, make breakfast, head to the office, return by evening, cook dinner, sometimes hang out with a few friends, and sleep. Whether it was a weekday or the weekend, nothing really changed. Before this, I was living in Berlin. Life there had a different pace, louder, faster, more chaotic. The opportunity to move to New York came through a tech conference I attended. A recruiter spotted my work on an open source project, and after a few months of interviews, I signed the offer. I packed up my small flat, sold half my things, and said goodbye to a few close mates. One suitcase, one backpack, and a fresh visa stamp, that was it. It felt big at the time, but I told myself it was just another city. At first, it wasn't bad. The subway was confusing, sure, and everything felt bigger and noisier. But the job kept me busy enough not to notice. I found a decent flat in Queens, nothing fancy, but close enough to the office. The one thing missing in my life was companionship. Most of my friends had girlfriends, and whenever I tried making plans, they were usually busy with their partners. It started making me feel like maybe I needed someone too, someone to spend time with, make plans with, maybe even dream about a future with. The problem was, despite meeting people here, I couldn't really connect with anyone. Most were only interested in casual flings, not anything serious. A friend of mine suggested I give Tinder a try, not exactly something I was excited about, but I thought, why not? It was my last shot. I downloaded the app, swiped through endless profiles, but none of them really caught my attention, until I stumbled upon her, Lena. Her bio read, "Searching for true love." No time pass. She looked really cute too. Without thinking much, I swiped right. To my surprise, it was an instant match. She had already swiped right on me. Feeling a little hopeful, I messaged her, "Hey, how are you?" And she replied almost immediately, as if she had been waiting for it. We chatted a bit, but then I got caught up in some urgent office work. Hours passed. When I finally looked back at my phone, I saw a message from Lena. "Still waiting for your reply." For the first time in a long while, someone was actually waiting for me to text back, not a manager, not a coworker, someone who wanted me. It felt special. We started chatting daily. She was curious about me, asked a lot of questions, and although I wanted to know more about her too, she often dodged deeper questions. Still, there was something about her that kept pulling me, in her patience, her excitement, her vibe. My trust in her grew quickly. After a week of talking, Lena finally suggested we meet. I expected a typical date, maybe a cafe or a bar, but she said, "Let's just go for a long walk and talk." That felt different. Refreshing, actually. So I agreed. We planned to meet on Friday night. She sent me her location, a small alley, and when I arrived, the place was dark and deserted. But standing under a streetlight, wearing a blue shirt, was Lena. Somehow, even in the darkness, I could see her clearly, her face glowing, her blue eyes standing out. She looked even more beautiful than her pictures. As we started walking, she slipped her hand into mine. Her hand was ice cold, like she had just pulled it out of a freezer. It felt strange, but not in a bad way, more like something magical. We talked as we walked, but after a while, she grew silent. I tried to keep the conversation going, asking random questions, trying to lighten the mood. After some time, she suddenly turned towards me and said, "Please don't leave me." It caught me off guard. We just met, how could she ask that already? Part of me found it cute, part of me found it a little strange. Maybe she had been hurt before, I thought. Maybe that's why. We eventually sat down on a bench. The whole place was dark and empty, yet I could see Lena as clearly as if a spotlight was on her. She kept holding my hand, her touch still freezing cold, but oddly comforting. Time slipped by. It was almost midnight. I realized I should probably head back after all. It was our first meeting, and I didn't want to overstay. I gently told her, "I think I should leave now." The look in her eyes was heartbreaking, like she genuinely didn't want me to go. But sometimes, no matter how strong the connection feels, you have to respect the space and pace of things. I stood up from the bench, brushing the dust off my jeans, hands shoved deep into my jacket pockets. The night air was crisp, carrying a slight chill. She remained seated, looking up at me with wide, pleading eyes, as if she didn't want me to leave. For a brief second, I hesitated. The way she sat there small still pulled at something inside me, but it was late, and the streets had emptied. I forced a small smile. "I'll text you when I get home," I said, trying to sound casual. She nodded but said nothing. I turned and made my way to the car, the sound of my boots echoing against the pavement. I could feel her gaze on me the entire time. When I glanced back, she hadn't moved, just sat there, watching. A faint shiver ran down my spine, but I shook it off. "You're just tired," I told myself. The drive home was quiet. No music, no cars. Only the low hum of the engine and the occasional sigh of the wind outside. Once home, I flopped onto the sofa and fired off a quick message. "Home safe. Thanks for tonight." Her reply came almost immediately. "I miss you already." I stared at the screen, frowning. It was odd. We had only just met. That sort of message should have been sweet, but instead, it made something in me feel uneasy. At first, I tried to ignore it. Maybe she was just a bit emotional. No harm in that, right? But the text didn't stop. She messaged morning, afternoon, late at night, always there, always immediate. Photos, random updates, little voice notes whispering how much she missed me. Whenever I asked what she did for work, her answers were vague. "Looking for something meaningful," she would say. And whenever we spoke about meeting up again, she insisted on strange, isolated places, abandoned car parks, deserted fields, long-forgotten back roads. I started making excuses. Told her I was busy. She didn't take it well. Her messages became more desperate, almost frantic. One evening, I mentioned it all to my mate, Sam. "You sure she's all right?" he asked, concern clear in his voice. "Maybe it's best you give yourself some space, mate." I nodded, knowing he was right. Then, one night, I got a text. "Come meet me. Same place, same time. Please." It was nearly midnight. I sat on the edge of my bed, phone in hand, heart thudding. Everything inside me screamed not to go. But a part of me, foolish, guilty, thought maybe I owed her an explanation. A proper goodbye, at least. I drove there, heart pounding. The streets were deserted. The air was heavy, damp, and cold. Under the dim streetlight, she stood. Same white dress, same eerie stillness, but something was wrong. Her skin looked gray, her hair blew in the wind, but she herself didn't move an inch. And when I breathed, I saw my breath in the cold air, but hers? Nothing. I froze. Every strange moment, the instant replies, the desperate messages, the lonely meeting spots came rushing back. This wasn't normal. This wasn't human. She lifted her hand slowly, beckoning me closer. That same too wide, unnatural smile stretched across her face. I stumbled back, panic rising. I turned and ran. I didn't look back. I drove home like a madman, barely remembering the journey. The next morning, I made some quick decisions. I did what I thought was best for my peace of mind. I accepted a work opportunity in my home country, Germany, and left USA altogether. Now, it's just a story in the back of my mind, nothing more. I don't dwell on it. Some things are better left there.